Hello and welcome to another episode of Journey to the Rise. I'm your host, Lucretia. In today's episode, we talk with boudoir photographer Stephanie Nivens. Stephanie started her photography journey taking pictures of dogs at her local dog club. She found a mentor who encouraged her to continue with her skill and to pursue photography. Photographers typically start out taking photos of everything until they realize what resonates them. For Stephanie, it was boudoir. Boudoir photography is empowering and helps women find a level of confidence that cannot be explained until you experience your own personal session. Stephanie has worked incredibly hard to build her business. Starting out, she was using her home as a studio, and recently, as she shares in this conversation, moved into her own professional studio space. She is quite modest about her journey, but that is why I want to talk with her. She has done so much to empower women, and through this process, she has been empowering herself. Please welcome Stephanie Nivens. Today we are talking with this amazing and very talented boudoir photographer. She is based in Tennessee, and she comes across as very quiet, but when you get to know her, she is super sweet and incredibly feisty. And I'm so excited to have her here today. Stephanie, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me. So happy
Absolutely.
to do this.
Now we get to put you in front of the camera for once.
I know.
So I want to just kick off from the very beginning. Where did you grow up?
I grew up here in Nashville, but right outside of it. I went to school in Mount Juliet. So Wilson County, it's like right on the line of Davidson. So it's like 20 minutes from the airport.
Oh, wow. Very convenient.
And now I still live in Wilson County. So I'm still in Wilson County. I'm just like towards the end of Wilson County now. But
Yeah, it's crazy how it's growing out there. So being on the
yes.
cusp of out there, you're like Nashville, but it's pretty much country out there where you're located. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now Mount Watertown, like where I'm at, the road you have to come to get here, it's still all country. Like I still have to drive 20 minutes to go to Walmart, Kroger, all that stuff. I kind of like it though, just being out away from everything.
Yeah.
Um, but now Mount Juliet, like that place looks completely different than when I went to school.
Wow.
Have you been out? Are you familiar with Providence area?
Yeah, it's changed in just a short time. I've been in Nashville. It's crazy how the development is,
Yeah, like when
the
I went to
sprawl.
school, yeah, it's grown so much. When I went to school, like Providence was just a big field. There was nothing over there.
Wow.
And now it's got
And
everything.
now it's just turning into a city. Yeah, absolutely. So were you close with your family? Like, what was your family dynamic like growing up?
Yeah, we were all close. Like my mom, where my grandmother lived, where I ended up moving to my high school years, and like every single weekend I was over at my grandmother's house. But, like it was her house. I had my great grandmother's house, and then my grandmother's sister on the other side of her. Like everybody lived near each other. We all got together for all the holidays. It was just like a big, huge family reunion all the time.
Oh
So
my gosh. That had been so
now that
much
I've gotten
fun.
older and people have started passing away, now we've kind of like split off. But
Yeah. That had to be
yeah,
so
growing
much
up in
fun
school,
though, growing up like that.
it was because all the cousins, we'd all get together. And then whenever it would snow, we'd all go outside and play and sled down the hills.
Nice. Very wholesome upbringing. I love that.
Yeah.
So what kind of did you have any like interest in high school of hobbies or certain classes that you enjoyed more than others?
No, school, I just really wanted to get out of it. I hated school. There was nothing that I liked about school. But
Yeah.
um, for the hobbies, my grandparents got me into karate.
Oh wow.
So I did that and I got my black belt in it. But once I finished, got my black belt, then I just stopped. I wish I had. I did. Yeah. And
You can
then
always go back.
my next one was when I got my dogs. Like I started doing half.
Uh-huh.
dogs later on in life, German Shepherds, 3 of them, and it was training them. And then that was my next hobby. But now
Yeah, didn't
photography's
you
taken
join a
over. I
dog
don't have time
club?
to do
Weren't you active with a dog club for a while?
it. Yeah. And that's how actually my photography got started. When I went and got my camera, because we didn't have anybody there taking pictures of all the stuff we were doing. And so I picked it up and started taking pictures of all that. It just kind of grew from there.
That is so fun. So were you just out there taking like pictures of like people posing with their dogs? Were they being like active with the club activity? What kind of club was it?
So it was a Schutzen, also now known as IPO. What we did was it was obedience tracking and protection. So I would get pictures of people like walking down the field with them and doing all their obedience routines, and when they were doing the protection work, like when they were jumping on and grabbing a hold of someone's arm for the protection part, or doing like a bark and hold, like I was capturing all the action shots and stuff, and when they were jumping over things. So
That had to have been pretty fun.
yeah, it was. I miss it. I wish I had time for it.
Yeah. And so you're taking pictures of dogs, and so where did your photography go from there? How did you get started with boudoir?
So Boudoir, like I had started doing pictures of just people, mainly like my friends would ask me to take pictures of their children and some family pictures. But I was never really crazy about it because I don't have children of my own, so I'm not a kid person really. But my friend came to me at the end of 2018 and asked me to do her boudoir shoot for her. It was the first one. I never thought I'd be going down that road, but I did, and I absolutely loved it. And 2019, I was starting my own business.
That's amazing. What was it about boudoir that grabbed your attention and made you want to pursue it?
I think the beauty of it, and then just seeing her eyes light up when she got to see herself, when she saw the pictures, and the reaction, and knowing that I was able to help someone like be able to see themselves in that light. Like it just really spoke to me, and I loved it.
So you
So I
got to
know when I
see
was doing
like
the
an
family,
empowerment and a confidence come over them just from you taking
mm-hmm.
these photos.
Yeah,
Wow.
because I did not see that when I was doing the family. It's like, for one, they're stressed out and trying to get everybody together, and they're just completely different things than boudoir.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is 2018 and you start your business 2019. What was that process like for you when you first got started?
Well, I have to really thank you for getting me started, because I don't know if I would have even ended up where I am today had you not pushed me to do that model call. I think that was like in January of
Mm-hmm.
2019. And then from there, it just kept building. Got my website up and got my group going, and then just kind of taken off.
Yeah, you've put in a lot of
But no,
hard work.
had it not been for you pushing me in that model call, I probably would have procrastinated like I do everything else, and it wouldn't happen.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you
So
so
thank you.
much. Absolutely. I saw your potential. You had an amazing potential and you're willing to work for it. I could see what you were doing with your dog photography and how hard you were working with that, and I saw that you had a talent. So you mentioned as you're helping your clients with confidence and empowerment, like do you feel that energizes you when you're working with these clients? Like how do you feel you're helping your clients? Because boudoir is tricky. You're having someone in lingerie, you're having someone be incredibly vulnerable, and yet I think from what I've heard from other boudoir photographers, they really like how they're helping women. How do you feel you're helping your clients?
I being able, a lot of women that are coming in have never thought of themselves as beautiful or sexy, Like they just never really like felt that part of them. And then a lot of them have been abused, either mentally, physically, and so their self-esteem is low. Like they were always told how they were ugly and they would never amount to anything. And so when they finally get to see themselves in the way I'm looking at them, like it just opens their eyes. A lot of tears, and like they're seeing something they never thought they would see.
That's amazing. And you're such a trusting soul to be able to give them that safe space to be able to work through that. Because if you have a woman who has been abused, whether physically, mentally, or both, there's a lot of trauma there, and words are really harsh. And to hear you say that and hear how these women come to you, because your work is amazing. The women you photograph are stunning. I cannot imagine any single one of them walking up to you and saying, someone told me I was ugly, I don't feel pretty, because you really pull that out of them.
Yeah, and that's so many of the women I photograph. Like they just don't see it, and so when
Wow.
when I finally get them to see it, and it's just, I love it. I can't
That's
explain that
amazing.
feeling.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more from our guest, Stephanie, and how she empowers women with her skill as a photographer. The goal for any business is to grow and reach a new level. Get there faster by being an authority in your industry with a video docu-series. Using video, you can showcase you, your business, your staff, products and services, and your why. Building relationships is key, and a high-quality video can give existing and potential clients a way to get to know you. It also allows you to build a connection that results in increased sales. If you would like to know more about how you can enhance your business with video, contact girlbossproductions.com today. Does your website have content that was created by your cousin Danny back in 2003? It sounds like it's time for a refresher. With Girl Boss Copywriter, we work with you to learn about you, your business, and we strive to create content that will help you build a community, relationships with your existing and prospective clients. With web pages that convert clicks into sales, email sequences that engage your database, you deserve to grow and build your business so you can live the life you dreamed when you started your business. Working as a girl boss doesn't mean you have to live the hustle culture. It means you recognize when you need to delegate tasks so you can focus on what you do best and you let the others do the rest. Want to know more about how to have an engaging website and utilize your email list to convert sales and grow business? Go to girlbosscopywriter.com. Welcome back to Journey to the Rise. We continue our conversation with Stephanie, and she talks about how she is overcoming her own insecurities and fears to be 100% for herself, her business, and her clients. Yeah, we need more of that. We need more female empowerment in our lives, especially for those who have gone through any kind of trauma. So I love that you're helping these women really identify the beauty that they carry. Like, that's fantastic. And you probably had no idea you were going to even be bringing that out of them when you started this.
Mm-mm. No, I didn't. I didn't realize like how, yeah, I didn't realize
Yeah.
how much I was going to be affected by it, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, it's like you're healing internal wounds by showing them how beautiful they are on the outside. That's really powerful, Stephanie. That's really powerful with what you do. That's amazing. So I'm going to pop over to your
I know,
website. Oh, go ahead. No, please go ahead.
I was going to say, I know one of my winners for my annual giveaway last year, they had won like a credit or something, and she was the sweetest lady. I loved working with her. And when she was filling out her application, I know she had put on there that she's never liked any single picture of her ever. So I went into this shoot, like, when they put that on there, I'm always nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I let them down,
Yeah.
like, I don't, it's a lot of pressure on me because I don't want to screw it up. But she could not believe it. She ended up buying more. She ended up hanging the 11 by 14 wall prints on her wall. Like, and she did not think she was going to like a single picture. Ended up having to narrow them down from like 40 to 20.
Oh my gosh.
So,
that's fantastic.
but,
she must have been so excited. That had to have been super, super fun for you when you saw the recognition in herself, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, these are phenomenal." I love that. So I'm gonna pop over to your website because I was on your website, and I want you to I'm gonna read a statement that you have on there. I'm just gonna have you respond to it, and you say, I myself have had to overcome a lot of fears and insecurities in order to create a growing and thriving business. Personally, I spent the majority of my life being someone that I didn't want to be seen or heard. Someone known as the quiet girl who sat in the back of the room. I can't begin to explain or fathom how many opportunities I missed out in life before I realized that this did not have to be my identity forever. When I first started on this journey, I had no idea that I was going to be helping myself in the process of helping so many women. Once I started my business, I realized that I had no choice but to start putting myself out there, despite how paralyzed and terrified I sometimes felt. That's a very vulnerable statement.
Yeah, it took me a lot to be able to write that too.
I bet.
Like, I had to work with someone recently, like, trying to get myself to be more vulnerable and open up more.
So what's that process and journey what has that been like for you? Because you do like when we first met, you are very quiet, but once someone gets to know you, you warm up really quickly. You're very personable, you're incredibly smart and funny and kind and fun to talk to. So what was that process like to go through those fears? I mean, you feeling paralyzed and terrified. Like, walk me through that journey that you experienced.
Yeah, like, I never wanted attention on me. I still really don't, but I'm better at it. Like, especially like lives, like, I would break out in sweats when I'd have to go live in my Facebook group and talk, and I would try to find a dozen excuses to be able to get out of it. I did not want to do it. So it's getting easier. I still need to be doing more lives, but and even before shoots, like, I remember when I first started, like, there were times when I was hoping the client would cancel because I didn't want to do it.
Really?
And then my husband was like, stop it. And then, but now it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I would just get in my own head and just get very nervous and question, well, what if I forget what I'm doing, or if it doesn't work out the way I want it to? And so,
but yet your husband was there supporting you and pushing you. I love that.
Yeah. Like, he has helped so much. Like, if I need something built, he will build it. He does everything.
Wow. So, that's really nice.
And then, but I know, like, last year, one of my goals was to be able to become more vulnerable and speaking from the heart more, because people were just getting like little short, like, quotes and stuff like that in my group, and I needed it to be more me and personable, and I needed to be able to open up in order for women to be able to open up in front of me. So I'd been working on myself with a coach and, like, trying to bring this part out of me. So sorry.
It's okay.
So.
Wow. So a lot of people think getting behind a camera is easy, and clearly this was not the easy part of your journey for you.
No. no, it was hard
And what
because
kept
you're
you
making
going with those feelings that you were going through and the negative self-talk? Like, what kept you going?
the fact that I was still helping other women, I think, and being able to see their reaction, everything at the end of it.
Wow.
Knowing once I help one woman, I could help another. So,
That's awesome. That's amazing. So, on your path, I don't think anyone can build a business without gaining some sort of knowledge and education. What kind of education have you pursued? Have you taken like online classes, workshops, conferences?
yes, I have done so much. I've definitely invested a lot of money into myself. Like I know I pay for my monthly subscription of Creative Live that has like a lot of Sue Bryce's stuff on there, uh, and a lot of other boudoir photographers. They've got their stuff on there. So I've used that some. My biggest courses were with the high rollers. That's Jen Bruno Smith and Humberto Garcia. He's more like marketing, but Jen Smith, she's a boudoir photographer out of close to like Philadelphia, somewhere there. But they have a whole course that I ended up taking that taught me like the whole process of marketing and just running a business. So that helped tremendously. And then there's a couple other photographer or education groups like Elena Marr. Um, she's got a lot of creative education courses, like with lighting and all sorts of different things. I've got so much stuff of hers. So when I'm like doing new sets down at my studio, a lot of it probably came from something that I got from her course or her membership that I'm part of. And then Strip Down. I think that was definitely the one that got me to where I needed to become. Got me thinking about my vulnerability, and that got me focused on that last year. She's amazing. Denise Birdsong, The Art of Emotion. So I took that. I ended up taking that twice. I'll probably take it again because you learn. It's different every time, and I absolutely loved learning from her. But it was focusing on the emotion in photography and like being able to bring out all of these emotions when you're shooting. That way it's more art and not just let me put you in this pose. And so
That's awesome.
Biggest.
Yeah. I think that's something people miss out on is the importance of self-education. Like college isn't meant for everybody, but I think we all have an interest in learning, and there's so many ways to gain that knowledge, and you truly have found the way that you learn and found the subjects that you need to strengthen yourself. That's amazing. That's awesome. And your studio space started in your home. What was that like for you?
Yes, this little room that I'm in right now was what I used to shoot in. That and my bedroom back there. So, and it was only a couple hundred square feet, maybe, probably 400 total. And now I've got a 1,500 square foot studio right here on the square in Watertown, different multiple sets in there, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I bet.
I don't know how I managed shooting in here.
Because you have movable, did you have movable walls? Is that how you would do your setups?
Yeah, I did have movable walls.
So that allowed you
Yes.
some flexibility in the tiny space that you were working in.
Yeah. Yeah, somehow I made it work. Like I was able to hide everything behind those two movable walls, like a couch and all those props. Like it was all hidden in one little corner over here. So,
You got creative with the space that you had. That's
I did.
awesome. You saw your vision, you knew what you wanted to make happen and make your business into a reality, and you did what you had to do, including hiding a couch against a wall. So
Well, it
so your tiny
blankets, but
space, where did your husband go during your boudoir sessions? Was he like hiding in the bedroom? Was he hiding in a like how did you say, "Hey,
no,
I'm
we had a compromise so he can vote.
You bought
so
him
he
a
could go fishing.
boat.
Yeah,
Yes. That's a good compromise. There are men out there like, hey, I want a
yeah,
boat.
yeah. So that's how we compromised on that. But now he's about to sell it, I think, because since I've gotten the studio, he's probably been on that boat 5 times. Like
Oh
he
no.
stays here, plays his video games now. He doesn't leave. So
So if you're in Tennessee, there may be a boat for sale soon.
yes, it is a fishing boat.
Nice. And as you're saying, your studio space has gone from the space in your living room and your house to, was it 1,500 square feet? What is
Mhm.
that? What has that been like for you? What did that feel like when you were able to expand into your own studio?
Oh, I was so happy because the one thing that always drove me crazy in here was just the lighting. Like it would just change. Like especially during summer, all I got were green cast in here, and I hate green cast. And like all of my, like I just didn't get good light in the summer because the trees and everything, so it just drove me crazy. Um, but up there, there's so much light in every room, and I got one room that's my dark and moody, one room is my light and airy, because I love them both. Like I could never decide on which felt better to me. Like I love them both the same, so I love being able to shoot both. And then I can just bring in different sets, change things up. I've got my client closet, which is like a little girl's dream with all the big gowns and the wings and heels and like everything's full.
Wow,
So
that's amazing. How did you find your space?
um, actually, that was my husband again. He was on Facebook one night and it popped up under Marketplace. This lady was renting out the building down there. And I think when I responded to her thing that night, applied for it. By the next day, she had 70 applicants
Oh my
apply for
gosh.
this.
Wow.
Yeah, because she was renting it out as an apartment instead of a business. But I actually won it because I was going to be a business in there and she wouldn't have, because her insurance company is right below it. And so she went with me because I wouldn't be up there like running around or have kids running around every day.
Nice.
And the
That's
price I got for it was unbelievable. I'd been looking around and I was expecting a $2,000 a month studio payment, and it was $850.
that's fantastic.
So, if,
Wow.
like I manifested the studio. Like if you just wait and hold on, it will come.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because I told my husband, I was like, "This is everything that I told him I wanted. Like I got it. I don't know how, but I got
Really?
it."
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That's
I said I wanted it
outstanding.
close to the house. I wanted it under $1,000, and I needed enough room for all these sets and everything. Like it's literally 2 minutes from my house.
I love that so
So
much. Wow. So what was moving day like when you're packing up your stuff and you get to, because that feeling for a photographer to have their own studio, to be able to have their business growing where they can afford it, and then you find not just any studio but the dream studio. Like what was that day like for you?
it was so exciting. I couldn't believe it. When I got all my stuff up there, it was so hard to believe that it was mine.
Did you just walk around in a daze?
Mm-hmm. I still have
Did you have
video when it's on my timeline. I was like, oh, I'm so happy that day.
Did you have like a moving party? Did you have people helping you? Because that's a lot of stuff that you're transporting over.
Yes, and I could barely move because I don't know if you've seen it, but it's got a bunch of steps that you have to go up to get into my studio. I never want a house with stairs after moving into that studio because it is such a workout, especially when
Yeah.
you're trying to haul stuff up like I am all the time. But no, it was me, my mom, and her husband, my stepdad. They came and pretty much moved everything over because Michael had just had knee surgery like
Oh
a couple
no,
weeks
your
before I
husband
moved
had
in.
knee surgery? Oh
So he couldn't
no.
even help me do anything. So, and then
They
my
said
dad,
wave from you from the couch, like, bye.
he hated it not being able to help us, but we got it all up there.
Wow.
And then
That's
my dad
amazing.
came and like he built a put wall panels on the back wall for me, or in the back room, so I could have darker walls because the landlord really didn't want dark paint on the walls. So we just hung up some wall panels because I wanted dark walls in there.
Yeah.
So he helped me get all that stuff ready.
That's awesome. And from when you moved in and got yourself situated, what was the timeline before you started having sessions in there?
Let's see, I only had 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I still had to paint. Like I ended up taking a week off from my regular job at the time, and I had to paint that whole place, get everything moved in. Yeah, because I had a session 2 weeks later.
So there was no time to rest from unload, set up the things, paint. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been really stressful, but how exciting. And what
Yeah,
was the
it
client's
was.
reaction when they walked into your studio space? Do you remember?
They loved it. They loved
That
all the
had to have felt
rooms. And,
so good.
yeah,
So
because
from
originally
when
when
you,
they made,
yeah, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say because when they originally made the appointment, like I was still in my house, like I had no idea any of this was gonna happen. So they got a completely new look in there.
Wow, that's awesome. So when you started your business and you're doing sessions in your house to when you got your studio, what was that timeline? Like how quickly did that happen?
So when did I move into the studio? Started my business in January 2019. Moved into the studio August 1st of 2021.
Wow,
So what?
you've been hustling. That's really a fast turnaround to go from in-home studio space to needing your own studio. That's amazing. Like bravo to you for all that hard work. I love it. So what's the biggest thing that you've learned from this process?
Uh, keep going. Don't give up. Running a business is hard, but you just got to keep pushing and
Yeah,
stay focused. Like there's going to be slow times. You just got to figure out a way to get through it.
I love that. Absolutely
Positive.
love that. So you're always adding to your set and your costumes. Like what has evolved with you talked about your costume and your clothes and you have shoes and wings. Like, how has that evolved? Like how what did you start with and what have you added along the way for your clients to have options?
So I started with just a couple little pieces of lingerie, and now I have got drawers full. Like I am overflowing with lingerie now. Like they won't even fit on my drawers or on my racks. Like I've got shoes in every size. I've got angel wings in multiple colors and the gowns for the maternity shoots. Um, there's just so much down there. I bet there's thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stuff.
Yeah. But how fun is it for your clients to like open the doors and go into basically dress up? Like it is dress up.
Yeah, they love it,
That's
especially when
amazing.
everybody's eyes light up when they see the wings.
Now
Gowns are my
did you
favorite part.
right? Now did you make a set of angel wings?
Yeah, I have made all the wings down there
You
actually.
made them all yourself.
Yeah.
Wow. What was that? What's it like to build the wings? Because that can't be. They're huge. That can't be easy.
No, I did find I can't remember the site. If you need to link it, I can find it. But there was I Googled it and I came across this other photographer that had made hers, and I just followed along and ended up making mine. Like, I need to go back and remake my first set because now, like, looking at them, they're kind of uneven and they're longer than what I would want them to be. But it was my first set. Like, now I know what I want out of them. So, and the first set took forever. It was probably 10 hours or longer doing this.
Oh my gosh!
And everything.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
But they look so cool.
But now, once you get the first one done, it doesn't take as long after that.
Nice. Excellent. And you're always adding to your sets. Like, what kind of sets? You talked about having a dark room. Like, when people come have sessions with you, what can they expect from the different sets that you have in your beautiful studio?
So I've got definitely the dark and moody room. I've got the 12-foot tub in there that I absolutely love. I wish I had that in my house. And then I've just got like the darker walls with it. More greenery. I need to add, I'm thinking about adding some more stuff to it to make it look more like a boho. I want more green in there. And then I've got the white room. I ended up buying, I could not find the white, just a solid white floor. That's all I wanted for that room. And I could not find anything at any of the stores. So I ended up going online and getting the stuff that you put down for dance floors when someone's getting married and they build the dance floor. I ended up finding those long vinyl things, wraps. And so I just covered that room in it. So I got my reflective white floor in there.
Wow.
And then everything is white. And then I've got my other room. It's just got a gray couch, the chair, like a whole matching set in there. It's kind of more darker. And then I added a stripper pole to it. And we've got the bondage set in there. We've got the faux shower. I took a plexiglass and I can make it look like windows or make it look like a shower just using lights and touching on here. So.
Have fun. Lots of fun things to play with as a photographer. That's so exciting. I love that. So many options. Like, you're really utilizing, it sounds like you're really utilizing your space very well.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting. That's amazing. Now, you recently did what looked like a really fun session that consisted of covering a woman, like, was it paint? Like, it looked like you were just throwing a bunch of, she was laying on the floor, and like, what was that session all about, and how did you come up with that idea?
I had seen something similar to it, and I was like, well, I wonder what I can do. And so I just really wanted to try it. And then her boyfriend is actually an artist, so she was all down for it. And I told her, I was like, well, you should just bring your boyfriend with you and let him do all this. He's probably much better than me. But so yeah, I just went and got some paint, and we covered her in it, and then threw it on the backdrop. I just used one of my white paper backdrops, seamless backgrounds, and used a light up above her to light it. It was fun. It was messy, very messy.
Yeah, it looked pretty messy. But how much did she love it? Like, what did she think of the results?
She loved it. Yeah, she absolutely loved it. And I was very happy with the results, the way it came out.
That's amazing.
And if I come up with, like, I think it would be a great idea, because I usually try to do different events with people in the group and stuff. Like, I don't know if you've seen where we do the paint nights with Leah Borse. I always want to say her last name wrong for some reason. Are you familiar with her in Nashville Girls Group?
I'm not, no.
You'll have to check her out on Instagram. She's an amazing artist. And so we do paint nights with her, and I just try to do different things in the studio. And I was thinking this would be something fun, but if I've got to come up with a better way for everybody to be able to get this paint off of them, instead of it all going down my shower, and nobody's going to have time to get in the shower with warm water if I do it. So, because I was thinking that would be a good idea, but I don't know how to pull it off.
Right. Or it could just be a badge of honor and you leave covered in paint, kind of like a color run. When they throw that powdered
Yeah, I was
stuff
thinking
at
about
you.
that too. If I tell them to bring clothes that they don't care if it gets ruined, that way it doesn't get on their car, but maybe they can put it off when they get home. Oh, and then I forgot about our rain room set. That's always another fun one that I do in the
Ooh.
summertime.
Yeah, tell me about your rain room.
So that one, I ended up getting one of those canopy things from Lowe's last year. Which this year, when I do it, I'm going to try to build something even more permanent because this one did not stay as permanent as what I thought it was going to once the wind came through on one of our strong storms. But I had gotten wall panels, like the really thick styrofoam panels, and cut holes in them, put lights in it, and put that for my background. And then my husband came and put the tubing from like pond that people would use in their pond for the waterfall or whatever. But he did that all the way around the top of it, and that was what I was using to come down on the grills. So, and then we just
Wow.
covered the sides of it in the black tarp, and then on the bottom, it was fun.
It looked fun. Is that outside of your studio, or where is that? Where do you put
That's
that?
over at my mom's house.
Okay,
Yeah, I set it
that's
all up over
awesome.
there.
Yeah. So you go on location for the rain shoot.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
very
I wish I
cool.
had something over here, but I don't. The place she doesn't care if I use her place.
That's nice. And she has a space where you can set up a little rain room in her yard.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, they always look amazing. I wondered how you would set up your. I thought maybe you had like a bathroom or something, the way that you're able to get the lighting in there, but you're outdoors.
Hmm.
Nice. Very cool. And then do you ever have couples like approach you and say, hey, I want to do like a couple session? And
Yes, I actually just started doing couples. I did my first one in was that November, or I think it was November. And for the longest time, I kept referring them to another photographer here locally, and I finally decided just to do it, and I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun.
oh, that's
So
awesome.
now I am shooting couples. I've got another couple shoot next month. So
That's amazing. That's fantastic. And what have they said, like the couple that you photographed? Like what do they think of the results of your work?
she couldn't believe it whenever she saw those pictures. She was so in love with them.
Oh, that's amazing. What a great
I was so
feeling that
happy.
must have been.
It was,
I love that. So, what's next for you as an entrepreneur in your business?
um, so my goals now are just to keep growing, staying busy, and like my ultimate goal would be to have another location and bring in some maybe associate photographers and help run. Like I would like to definitely have a location down towards the beach somewhere.
Yeah,
So I just want to keep growing, keep doing what I'm doing.
manifested.
So yeah, those are
That's
definitely my goals.
incredible. I love that so much. You have come so far. It's been really fun, like watching you evolve over such a really short amount of time. So, if someone wants to reach out to you, if they want to check out your work, like, where can they find you? Like, what's your website? What's your socials?
So you can find me on Instagram. It's Boudoir by Stephanie Nivens, and in between each word is the underscore. Um, and Facebook, Boudoir by Stephanie Nivens. My website is boudoirbystephanieNivens.com.
Excellent. Yeah, go
Um,
check her stuff out. It's amazing. And then go book a
then
session
I've
with
got a
her and go play in her costumes.
Yes, I've got tons of stuff in there. You can
That's
choose from
awesome.
all different things: lingerie, big gowns, bondage set.
A little bit of everything for everybody.
Yeah,
That's
I think it
awesome.
helps
Well,
to have a bunch of variety.
it does help to have a variety, absolutely. Yeah, that's fun. Because then you can appeal to a little bit of this to that person, a little bit to that person, and hopefully it makes them want to come back to do another session with the wings or costumes that they didn't get to be able to wear the first time.
Hmm. Yeah, I've got one client. She's already booked with me multiple times, like because of the different sets I bring in, and yeah, clients end up turning into repeat clients because they want.
Yeah.
Once they get the first one out of the way and they realize it's not as bad as what they think, like then they're just ready to book another one.
Yeah, it's less scary. It's a safe space. You get to have so much fun. You feel empowered. It's basically a form of self-care because you're putting yourself first. You're letting yourself feel strong and beautiful, which every woman should, and you're giving them that opportunity. So I love to hear that. They're like, "Yes, I definitely want I want to do another session." That's amazing. And now with the couples, hopefully that will also bring back clients who want to bring in their partner.
Yeah,
Amazing. Well, yeah, you're
yeah, because
super
a lot of
amazing. I know you're crazy busy. Well, go ahead.
oh, I was going to say because a lot of the people that were asking me about the couple shoots were people that I'd already shot, and then they were
Nice.
wanting to do the couple session after that, and then I was having to send them away to someone else. I was like, this is crazy. Like I need to just start doing this.
Yeah. I'm so glad you did. And now your calendar is going to be booked up even more. How far up are you booked? Is it like several weeks, a couple months?
Couple months,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's about two anywhere usually around from 2 to 3 months. We booked out.
Nice. That's exciting. I love that.
Yeah, right now I've already
Amazing.
had a book for the summer, so
Awesome.
yeah.
I love it. Well, that's amazing. And with you being that booked up, I know you're super busy, so I won't keep you much longer. But thank you so much for taking time to just share, like, where you began and where you are now. And I know that other people who have been like, do I want a boudoir photo session? Or maybe they're thinking about becoming a boudoir photographer themselves. They can see that you don't have to be a super extroverted, in your face kind of person to be successful in this
No, you just
industry.
got to figure out. No, you can make it work to your personality. Like you just because I'm not an extrovert at all. I'm not an outgoing person and cheerleader but I make it work for me. So
Yeah. And in a very incredible way, with the way that you have brought success to yourself.
yeah,
You should be really proud of yourself. This is awesome.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it so very, very much.
Thank you again for inviting me.
Yeah.
I was so happy to be a part of this.
That's it with Stephanie Nevins. Next week, we talk with travel photographer Eric Prince.
Right? Like I'll go through and I'll say I only have like six things to talk about, six 15-minute videos, and then what else do I do? Right? Because I just don't create content just for the sake of creating content. Entertain and educate, everything. But I do feel now that there's a wide range of subjects I can talk about within the travel space, and not only within the travel space, but specifically for young men. I think there is a lack of information, context, stories, perspectives, and narratives surrounding young men.
Hey, thanks for listening to Journey to the Rise. Please do follow us on your podcast app so you have the latest episode downloaded. If you want to follow us on Instagram, our account is at Journey to the Rise Podcast. This episode is researched, produced, and edited by Girl Boss Productions. And please remember to be kind to you. Fill your cup up with love, because when we are kind to ourselves, it makes it easier to be kind to others. I'm Lucretia, and you've been listening to Journey to the Rise.